I want to speak about justice for the Epstein victims and survivors. And I'm going to begin with the closing words of Virginia Roberts Giuffre in her book. It's literally the last paragraph. She writes, "I hope for a world in which predators are punished, not protected. Victims are treated with compassion, not shamed, and powerful people face the same consequences as anyone else. I yearn, too, for a world in which the perpetrators face more shame than their victims do, and where anyone who's been trafficked can confront their abusers when they are ready, no matter how much time has passed. We don't live in this world yet. I mean, seriously, where are those videotapes the FBI confiscated from Epstein's houses? And why haven't they led to prosecution of any more abusers?" That's from Virginia. It was printed, as you know, posthumously after her death. Mr. Blanche, you and I had a chance a couple of weeks ago at the Department of Justice to speak about these cases. We discussed three things in connection with this monstrous, decades-long crime spree. Number one, your failure to fully redact survivor information. Number two, your failure to follow the law and release the remaining files. And number three, your refusal to prosecute anybody else. Mr. Blanche, let's continue that inane conversation, but this time it's public. This time, and more importantly, it's under oath. You're speaking to Congress. So let's get into it. When will you comply with the law and release all of the files?
As I said to you when we spoke before, we have complied with the law. We have reviewed.
There are 3 million more documents, and you know what you said to me? They're all duplicative, and they include another guy named Epstein.
No, I didn't
Nobody's
say
buying.
that.
That's
I did
what you
not
said.
say that.
That's what you said.
So look,
reclaiming my time.
Can I answer? Can I answer the question?
No, may not. I
okay.
just gave you the answer you gave me.
Telling.
No, actually, it's my time, Mr. Chairman. I think those are the rules of this committee. I told him the answer he gave me, and now in public he's trying to say something else. Please stop the clock. Can I get that time back? May I have 20 seconds back, Mr. Chairman? Thank you. I very much appreciate that. Mr. Blanche.
You don't want me to answer the question.
Mr. Blanche, as you know, I visited DOJ 3 times for as much as 10 hours, and I'll be going back. Does the Epstein File Transparency Act say that the file should be available to members of Congress with a minder at DOJ, where you're in a secure room, you can't write on any of the binders, you can take your own notes? Is that what the Transparency Act says?
It doesn't require we allow you to come to DOJ at all. We did that on our own.
What does it say in terms of transparency? It says that they should be made publicly available.
And they
Am
were.
Am I correct?
And
publicly
they were.
available.
And they were.
Oh, well, let's talk about that.
Okay.
Time of the gentlelady has expired.
I beg your pardon.
2 minutes and 10 seconds.
And I'd actually like to get 20 seconds back. How do I get cut off 2 minutes into this?
2 minutes and 10 seconds left.
Time of the gentlelady has expired.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Chairman.
No, that's not right.
What rules are we operating under?
That's not right.
Because he's under a little bit of heat for not prosecuting anyone in these monstrous crimes? I've been in the room. I have been there. This is what I had to do, to transcribe, to show what is true. What is true is that the president has lied about being on Epstein's plane, and the unredacted files prove that. There's a lot in here. I am shocked at this. There's also this set of files in the file. This is investigation into the potential co-conspirators of Jeffrey Epstein. I almost used up all the blank ink in the hallway because it's all covered up. It's all covered up. The American people are not stupid. They know that when members of Congress have to go in and actually unredact to try to find the truth for these victims, something is corrupt. Something is corrosive. You were paid $10 million to represent the president. You hang a 30-foot banner of the president's menacing face over the entrance to the Department of Justice. You said that if you were terminated or not moved forward as Attorney General, you would say to the president, "I love you, sir." So I have one question for you. Is your obligation to the victims and survivors of Epstein's heinous crimes and all his perpetrators, or is your first obligation to the President of the United States?
So without a doubt, We want to bring justice to every victim.
When will you bring that justice?
Can I please finish?
Excuse me.
Can I finish?
It's been decades. When will
Can
you
I
bring,
finish?
When will you bring the justice?
So as I was saying,
When will you prosecute?
Oh,
And who will you prosecute?
can I
Please allow the
speak?
witness to answer.
You told me in our
So I'll tell
conversation you
so
blamed the victim.
Every victim
Let the record
of Mr.
reflect.
Epstein.
He told me
of-
that the victims didn't give good names.
Let me be crystal clear that this Department of Justice will always protect victims and will always prosecute anybody we can. Okay, full stop, no ifs, ands, or buts, okay? What you are showing in a game of showmanship are redactions because of victims, because that prosecution memorandum
Perpetrators.
talks about, excuse me?
Perpetrators, too.
How do you know that? Go ahead.
Talk to the
Exactly.
victims.
So
Talk to the victims.
they're victims' names, which we are required to redact, required by law to redact, which we did.
This hearing quickly became one of the most intense exchanges yet over the Jeffrey Epstein investigation and the unanswered questions that continue to surround it. The Congresswoman opened with the final published words of Virginia Giuffre, one of Epstein's most well-known accusers. Her message was simple but powerful. Victims deserve justice, predators should be punished, and powerful people should not receive special treatment. From that point forward, the hearing turned into a direct confrontation with Acting Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche over what critics describe as a lack of transparency surrounding the Epstein files. The central issue wasn't whether Epstein committed horrific crimes. That's already established. The real fight was over what information remains hidden from the public and whether additional individuals connected to Epstein's network will ever face prosecution. The Congresswoman repeatedly challenged Blanche on why millions of documents remain unreleased. She argued that the American public has been told for years that transparency is coming, yet many records remain inaccessible or heavily redacted. Blanche pushed back, insisting that the Department of Justice has complied with legal requirements and that many redactions exist to protect victims and sensitive investigative information. He maintained that the DOJ remains committed to pursuing justice wherever evidence supports prosecution. But that answer did little to satisfy critics. One of the most dramatic moments came when the Congresswoman displayed heavily redacted pages, arguing that the extent of the blacked-out material undermines public confidence. Her message was clear. If transparency is the goal, why does so much remain hidden? The exchange then shifted from documents to accountability. The Congresswoman questioned whether political loyalties could influence decisions surrounding the case. She highlighted Blanche's previous association with President Trump and pressed him on whether his first obligation was to victims or to the president. Blanche firmly rejected any suggestion that politics influences prosecutorial decisions, stating that the Department of Justice will protect victims and prosecute anyone it can based on evidence. Yet for many watching, the most striking part of the hearing wasn't the answers. It was the frustration. Years after Epstein's death, many Americans still believe major questions remain unresolved. They want to know whether every person connected to Epstein's criminal enterprise has been identified, whether all available evidence has been reviewed, and whether anyone else will ultimately face charges. Supporters of the DOJ argue that prosecutors can only bring cases supported by admissible evidence, and that public pressure cannot replace legal standards. Critics counter that transparency itself is essential for restoring trust, especially in a case involving powerful individuals, allegations of abuse, and decades of unanswered questions. Regardless of where viewers stand politically, one thing is undeniable. The Epstein case continues to generate public outrage because many people feel the full story has never been told. This hearing didn't resolve those concerns. If anything, it amplified them. And until the public receives clearer answers about the remaining files, the redactions, and the possibility of future prosecutions, this controversy is unlikely to disappear anytime soon. What do you think? Should all remaining Epstein-related records be released to the public? Or are the redactions necessary to protect victims in ongoing investigations? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the biggest political hearings and accountability showdowns from Washington.